a pleasure to be here tonight. I'm hoping to give you a bit more background into the field of data analytics and also to hopefully help you in your decision-making process about what you want to do next year by telling you a bit about my journey. So I'm just going to start with some fun facts, although I've already seen one of these already on the previous slides. 92%, so the other one said 90%. 92% of data was created in the last 2 years. Today's smartphone would have been the most powerful computer in 1985. And every 60 seconds, Google receives over 2 billion search queries. So we've already spoken about how big data is everywhere, but there are so many different examples. eBay, for example, their search data, merchandising and customer information data is up to 90 petabytes, which I never knew what a petabyte was, but apparently it's 90 million gigabytes worth of data. We really do live in this age of information. Really has come about from new technologies and the digital revolution, but it's not just about how, not a result just purely of how consumers are behaving more online. In business, collecting and analysing large volumes of information helps improve the understanding of markets in which we operate, and in turn, we get a better understanding of our customers, which leads to a better customer experience and ultimately better business performance. But big data analytics and mathematics are also behind the widest range of human endeavour, insight and understanding into medicine, science, the environment, etc. But my experiences in the use of data in business decision making. So big data is improving our knowledge of customer preferences, habits and considerations in making transactions in different categories, brands and channels. Quite simply, the successful use of data leads to an improved value exchange between a consumer and an organisation. Data and the ability to analyse it is so critical to the future way in which businesses operate that many people think that a data analyst or a data scientist or whatever you want to call it is going to be incredibly in demand and, according to some people, is the sexiest job in the 21st century. So what do I mean about improved exchange of value between customers and organisations? Consider the following example. So we have a male, born in 1948, remarried, multiple kids, and is educated. Using demographic data alone, you really just get one picture of that type of customer and what his needs are and what products potentially would be of interest. If you overlay additional information to inform price sensitivity, customer loyalty, how they like to purchase, you can get a very different profile of the customer who historically would have been treated the same. Prince Charles may be a more loyal customer, valuing benefits over price and be more inclined to take up a new product offer if mailed to him in the form of a direct personalised flyer. Aussie might be a bit more erratic, more of a convenience, good deal kind of shopper, and often shopping online. So when we talk to him, we might be more inclined to send him an offer via Facebook. There are many different ways in which businesses use data to make better decisions. I'm not going to go into any of these really in detail. We sort of touched on the marketing example with Aussie and Prince Charles. But in trading, retail, insurance, there's lots of different departments, companies, areas that are increasingly using data to make better decisions, and also in hiring the people with those relevant skills that traditionally never used to exist in those areas. I work at Quantium. Quantium is a data-driven strategy consultancy, and we're commissioned by various clients, often in these different departments, to help them basically use their data better or to bring them value through the data that we have available at Quantium. If you can see those logos, there's just some examples of the types of businesses we work with. As an example, IKEA, we were helping them decide or to better place their catalogues. So they basically have a radius around the stores in which they drop their very expensive catalogues on an annual basis, and we, through analysing data, could show that actually it was more profitable to drop in areas where they had high value customers. Woolworths is an interesting example. We have a partnership with Woolworths, and if anyone's been to the store recently and seen those collectible cards, they completely transformed customer loyalty and repeat shopping behaviour for Woolworths. And we've done some analysis to basically demonstrate what that meant to the business. And that's what it's all about, by basically being able to quantify the investment people make in doing something to actually say, yes, that was actually a good decision and here's the results of that activity. When I was in year 12, I never probably would have dreamt of working with some of these brands. You know, some brands I love, Country Road and all that. But what I was told about actuarial studies in year 12 was that it is creative problem solving. And I think that's a good description of what we do in data analytics. I actually want to get a show of hands of how many people, or how many year 12 students think they have made up their mind about what they want to do next year. 2 people. I don't think that's probably what I was expecting. I changed my mind 3 or 4 times. I was originally enrolled at Sydney University to study maths, and I'm not lying when I say I chose Sydney Uni because all my friends were going there and I liked their sandstone buildings. Macquarie University campus is so modern now, and I'm quite slightly jealous that I didn't get the university. And a lot of those new aspects of the degrees now didn't actually exist when I came here, and I still really enjoyed studying here. I attended a similar sort of information night in year 12, but it was hosted at my school. And it was there when I actually changed my mind finally and decided what I was going to do. But I basically walked over to a table which said actuarial studies in it, no one was standing there. And I think the actuaries were getting ready to turn me away by asking me if I did maths. And when I said yes for a unit, then they suddenly were excited to sell me the actuarial study degree. And it was then that I decided to do actuarial studies and economics. I started here in 2004. So going down my path. So starting in 2004, just before the end of 2006, I met Adam Drusi, who's one of the founders and directors of Quantium. He presented at a Meet the Professional night hosted at Macquarie, and there are only very few, there's many examples of these types of events hosted where a lot of professionals come in and talk about what they do. And I really encourage everyone to get part of those things if you choose to study here. And it's a good opportunity to actually talk to those people afterwards, which is what I did. And I spoke to Adam. The reason why I approached him is he presented to everyone about what Quantium did, and he spoke about looking at price elasticity of chicken eggs. And I just thought that sounded so cool. I don't know what I was going to do with it, but it seemed more appropriate for me as someone who didn't want to follow the traditional path of an actuary and work in an insurance company. So I interned at Quantium 2006 and 2007 and then worked part-time after that. I just realised I started in 2009, not 2008, but and I've been there 5 years full-time now. When I started, we basically started a new team, Market Blueprint Customer Analytics, and I was in a team of 4, which is now over 40. And as a business, we've gone from 45 people when I started to 280. So growing 30% a year, there's definitely lots of opportunities for employment in data analytics and at Quantium. So I thought I might talk a bit about what we do. In the front here is Nipun and Nancy, who I work with. And Nancy's a recent graduate and has just started at Quantium. Nipun's been here with us for 2 years. and I'm a consultant. So I wanted to kind of talk about what we do in our roles and how they're a bit different, and what you might expect as a graduate after completing a degree in a business and economics faculty. So Nancy, what she's typically involved in is generally just learning, getting exposure to the data that we have on hand, interrogating that data, developing her technical skills, and summarising a lot of the insights and presenting and putting them in presentations and reports for clients. I asked her to sort of give me some examples of something she's been working on recently, and that's basically looking at the trends in the online retail market. And she's looking at analysis to basically talk about how fast is this online retail market growing, which segments are adopting this channel more quickly, are we shopping with international brands. Nipun is an analyst. His role is more about critically sort of analysing that data, increasingly acting as a peer reviewer of other work. He's responding to clients' questions and emails and presenting in those meetings, and managing small projects and responsible for overall delivery of the work overall. So I think, it's quite a lot of responsibility, as well as someone who's just been out of uni for 2 years. Some work that he's been working on is in the shopping centre space. So we work with all the shopping centre owners. And he's doing analysis, and this is on a particular shopping centre, of what types of customers are coming to the centre, which customer segment is most valuable, and what brands would encourage more centre visitation, and what was the improvement of the centre seen following a recent development. Myself, I'm a consultant. I manage the client relationship with several key clients. I drive a lot of development and new thinking in certain ideas, and areas where 2 years ago, we work with all the property owners now. 2 years ago, we didn't actually work with any of them, and it's an area that we've just sort of stumbled across and realised we can do a lot in. So part of my role is thinking about what else we can bring to new industries we haven't started working with. Supporting an ever-expanding team. As I said, it's now 40, and it's just generally lots of peer review and project management. I do a lot of work with Qantas, as one of my main clients. So some of the work I've been doing with them recently is looking at how recent changes to the rewards program have impacted customer engagement, and how will the introduction of a new partner to the program impact how members use their loyalty points, and ultimately that impact on profitability. So that's just some examples of what we do. A commonality between the three of us is that we all studied at Macquarie University. Nancy graduated this year, Nipun last year, and myself 5 years ago. We all did Nancy and I did actuarial studies and economics, and Nipun did actuarial studies and applied finance. My boss also studied at Macquarie, and Adam Drusi, who I mentioned earlier, one of the directors, did. And Quantium definitely has a bias towards hiring Macquarie graduates. And besides that being a reason for choosing Macquarie, there are many others which have been discussed earlier. So I think we've touched on that it's world-renowned business and economics faculty. The focus on preparation for life after uni, I think this is sort of an example of that. I definitely knew when I went into uni, you didn't really know what you were going to do at the end of it, so having that front of mind is really important. Strong alumni network, facilities to support education, that's spoken about quite a lot of. Building that solid technical foundation for graduates, and that's sort of connected with that reputation in the actuarial community. Quantium does hire a lot of particularly actuarial students out of Macquarie because of the strong technical foundation, and a vibrant student life. So I was obviously, really enjoy this industry and my job and Quantium. But what other reasons are there to choose data analytics? It's a growing industry, as I said, in 4 years, my team's gone from 4 to 30, and Quantium's now at 300 people and expecting another 100 in next year. And a lot of that growth is driven from this industry. And it's not only about the fact that we've got more data to deal with, it's actually becoming more front of mind as businesses realise that they need to do something about it, and they need to justify big investments with, quantitative evidence that it's a valid idea. It's innovative. We're not even sure what we're going to be doing next year. We're thinking about new ideas as we go and how we can help businesses every day. Work culture and environment, young, vibrant and close-knit. This was specifically around Quantium, but I would expect a lot in this industry you'd probably get that similar young, vibrant feel given the growth and the type of fast-paced, dynamic working life. Accelerated professional development, I think particularly Napoon and myself, haven't been working that many years, and I think we feel very fortunate of what we've sort of done in that short time frame. And dynamic and challenging. It is fast-paced. It is we anyway work in a consultancy. It is generally long hours and hard work, but we all love it. So, and we're rewarded for that. So what do we look for? Technical ability is definitely absolutely key, and we want people to be able to analyse and critically analyse that data and deliver quality results. But there are all these other things that I think are really important. Teamwork, creativity, professionalism, to be able to think critically, this holistic development, not just come out of uni with your degree, but actually have done or have involved yourself in other things, a more holistic view. Eager to learn, adaptability, business acumen. Communication is definitely critical, particularly if you think back to those logos. A lot of the people that we present to have no kind of mathematical background, and you have to explain to them the results that you've seen and make sure that they understand that. And attention to detail. So no questionable degree in this faculty give you the technical skills, but the types of networks and peer support groups will also help develop some of these other ones, as well as just getting involved and thinking about them to potentially do other things to kind of to develop those skills there. And then when deciding if this sort of career path is right for you, I would really encourage to think about whether you possess a lot of these skills, whether the fast-paced, dynamic nature of data analytics interests you. And if it does, I think you're on to winner, because I think you'll have no issues with finding jobs after uni. And if it isn't, I encourage you to speak to other professionals in the industry to find out what they do on a day-to-day basis to work out whether that might be more right for you. But we'll be around after if you've got any questions. But yeah, that's all I had to say. Thank you.